verse, but I never finished it. Because halfway through, I realized I wasn't talking to a distant God. I was talking to the one who stayed. I had 1,000 reasons to walk away from the altar, 1,000 memories making my face get smaller. I wasn't fighting demons with horns in the face. I was fighting a war that was living in my brain. The kind of war where you smile but your soul feels tired, where you look alive but inside you're inspired. I had questions stacked higher than buildings and cities, pain in my chest that nobody could witness. I watched people pray and still go through storms, watched good hearts break while the evil perform. So I look at heaven like, explain this to me. How can a God of love allow this to be? I had a courtroom inside of my mind. God was the accuser and I was the judge every night. I brought every scar like evidence against him. For God, every breath was a gift he was giving. I said, if you cared, you would've stopped this. If you loved me, you would've blocked this. If you're close, why do I feel abandoned? I know when my feelings were painting a false picture. I thought silence meant you left the room, but you were rebuilding me inside the ruins. I was done with God, but God wasn't done with me. I was throwing away the pages, he was writing my destiny. I saw grace, he saw God, I saw the end, he saw the start of it. I was running from the hands that were healing my scars. The God I questioned was holding my heart. I carry my past like a chain around my neck, every mistake like a permanent threat. I let my failures introduce who I was, forgot my identity was bought by love. I had conversations with voices of doubt, letting my fears be the loudest one out. I was a prisoner building my own cell, calling it freedom while living in hell. Funny how pride builds walls and complains about being lonely, how the heart gets cold when the fuses do be holy. I wanted answers wrapped up in a minute, but God was building some bigger within it. I asked for a shortcut, he gave me endurance. I asked for revenge, he taught me forgiveness. I asked to remove every enemy near me, he showed me the enemy sometimes was inside me. My ego, my anger, my need for approval, the version of myself that I had to remove, because resurrection requires something to die. A seed disappears for reaching the sky, and maybe the reason I thought I was losing was because God was changing the person I was choosing. I was trapped in a cycle, a mind full of violence, fighting my silence, hiding my weakness, trying to be strong with the soul that was bleeding, trying to find God while refusing to heal. And I had religion on mouth, but war in my spirit. I knew every answer but never would live it, until grace came close when I couldn't get closer. Now it lecture with a father's shoulder. You saw the tears I never showed, you heard the prayers I never spoke. When I was breaking under the pressure, you were creating something better. Now I don't look at my scars the same way. I don't see damage, I see evidence of grace. Every chapter I hated, every night I regretted, was a piece of the story that heaven protected. I thought my pain was proof that God forgot me, but sometimes the deepest roots grow when nobody sees. I wanted God to explain every storm, he wanted me to discover who I become through the storm. Because faith isn't pretending that the fire isn't burning, faith is standing in the fire, knowing God is still working. The world says hide your weakness, Jesus says won't bring it to me. The world says earn your value, Jesus says you were loved before you could breathe. So now I walk different, not because life got easy, but because I know who walks with me. I lost my old identity, found a greater name, lost my fear of tomorrow, found peace in the flame. I was done with God, that's what I said in my pain, but the truth is God was the only one who stayed. I was done with God, but God wasn't done with me. I was throwing away the pages, he was writing my destiny. I saw grace, he saw God, I saw the end, he saw the start of it. I was running from the hands that were healing my scars. The God I questioned was holding my heart. The prayer I never finished, is the prayer that I would live. I still remember the room where the silence got louder. The clock kept moving, but the world lost power. 1,000 people around me, still feeling alone because some kinds of pain only God really knows. I had words in my throat that I never could say. Had questions for heaven that stayed in my brain. I looked at the ceiling like, are you really there? Because sometimes the hardest prayers are the ones made through tears. I was angry at God, I was hurt, I was confused, trying to understand why the good ones lose, why the heart's full of kindness still break in the end, why we say goodbye to people we can't replace. I carried that weight like a stone in my chest, smiling in public, crying when I rested. Everybody told me God has a plan, but nobody explained why the plan had to hurt this bad. So I sat with my pain, had a fight with my faith, had a million emotions I was trying to translate. Then I realized something that changed everything. God wasn't absent, He was crying with me. I thought you let me in, let me in the middle of a storm. You were holding me when I couldn't hold on. I thought silence proved you walked away, but you were writing miracles I couldn't see that day. If I could go back to the darkest night, I would tell my old heart you're gonna be alright. Because the God I questioned was the God who stayed. The hand I couldn't see was carrying my weight. I learned that heaven doesn't always answer like thunder. Sometimes it speaks softly when your heart is under. Sometimes the miracle is not changing the situation. Sometimes the miracle is surviving the devastation. I wanted a reason for every tear that I cried, wanted a map for every wrong turn in life. But God doesn't promise a road without rain. He promises presence when you're walking through pain. I used to think faith was never feeling broken. Now I know faith is still praying when you're hopeless. It's choosing to trust when the picture is blurry. It's walking with God when you don't understand the journey. Because Jesus Himself knew what suffering meant. He carried a cross with the weight of humanity on Him. The world saw defeat, the grave saw an ending, but heaven was preparing the greatest beginning. So who am I to think my story is over, when the same God moved a stone from the shoulders? I was drowning in doubt, deep in the pressure, fighting my thoughts, trying to measure. Why did it happen? Why did it break? Why did I lose what I couldn't replace? But slowly I learned through the tears I was shedding. Some things are planted inside the break, and the old version of me had to fall to the ground before the new one could finally be found. I lost my control, but I found surrender. Lost my answers, but found my defender. Lost what I loved, but found something eternal. A God who stays close through every inferno. You were there when my voice couldn't speak. You were there when my knees got weak. You counted every tear that fell from my face. You held every moment I thought I couldn't take. Now I don't look at pain like I used to before. I don't see a closed door, I see a different road. Every scar has a language, every wound has a story. Every battle I survive shows a piece of your glory. I know somebody listening feels what I felt, carrying memories that nobody else can tell. The empty chair, the unanswered call, the picture that hurts when you look at the wall. I know that feeling, I know that night when your heart says, I don't think I'll be alright. But hear me clearly, your tears are not wasted. Your pain is not pointless. Your life is not broken. The same God who created the stars in the sky is close to the heart that is asking why. You might not understand the chapter you're living, but the author of life is still writing the ending. I cried thinking God abandoned my story. Then I looked back and saw Him carry me. I thought you left me in the middle of the storm, but you were holding me when I couldn't hold on. I thought the silence proved you walked away, but you were writing miracles I couldn't see that day. And if I could go back to the darkest night, I would tell my old heart you're gonna be alright. Because the God I questioned was the God who stayed. The hand I couldn't see was carrying my weight. Sometimes the greatest proof of love is God stop the storm. Instead, He stayed with you through it. Saw the smile, they never saw the struggle behind it. Saw the results, never saw the nights that defined it. Saw the victory, never saw the war I was fighting. Saw the sunrise, never saw the darkness before it. I had battles with no audience, wars with no witnesses. Carried heavy thoughts inside a quiet existence. I learned how to breathe with a storm in my chest. Learned how to say I'm fine when I needed rest. I was building the future with pieces of a past, trying to move forward while memories pull me back. I had dreams in my heart, but fear in my vision, and faith in my mouth, but doubt in my decisions. I questioned the road, questioned the timing, questioned why the mountain was always so climbing. I said, God, if you love me, why make me struggle? Why let me fight battles that nobody discovers? And then I realized a diamond never tells you about the pressure it survived. A tree never explains all the storms that kept it alive. Yeah, kept it alive. They never saw the chapter, they only saw the pain. They never saw the prison, they only saw the chain. They never saw the tears that watered my faith. They only saw the smile after I escaped. I was becoming someone, God was building something. God was building something. I used to pray, God, remove every problem. He answered, son, I'm teaching you how to overcome them. I wanted a shortcut, He gave me endurance. I wanted a miracle, He built me through the furnace. Because comfort creates weakness when there's no resistance, and faith becomes stronger when tested by distance. I was looking for signs written across the sky, missing the small miracles right in front of my eyes. The breath in my lungs, the strength to continue, the grace every morning, that somehow renewed you. I was counting my failures, He counted my growth. I was focused on scars, He focused on hope. The world wanted proof before believing my story, but God knew the ending before I saw the glory. They judged the chapter because they couldn't read the book. They saw the storm but never saw who held the boat. Yeah, I was fighting my thoughts with a mind full of questions, caught in the middle of fear and progression. Trying to be perfect, trying to be accepted, carrying weights I was never elected. Then grace came closer, not because I deserve it, but because love is love, even when you don't earn it. The cross wasn't a symbol, it was a statement. A king chose suffering to bring restoration. I don't stand tall because I never collapsed. I stand because mercy was stronger than my past. Hey, you knew the battles nobody knew. You saw the pain I was hiding from view. When I was losing my reason to fight, you were creating a way through the night. So this is for the person who feels overlooked, the one with a story nobody has looked, the one who keeps giving while feeling empty, the one who says forever but feels temporary. Understand this, your value isn't measured by people's reaction. Your purpose isn't based on their satisfaction. The same God who formed you before you had a name can rewrite your future without changing your frame. You were not the mistake, you were not the rejection, you were not the voice that destroyed your direction. You are a creation with breath from the Father, a life with a purpose that darkness can't conquer. I look back now at the roads I hated and see every moment where I was being shaped. The pain wasn't points, the waiting wasn't wasted, the tears were the language that heaven translated it. They never saw the chapter, they only saw the pain. They never saw the prison, they only saw the chain. They never saw the tears that watered my faith. They only saw the smile after I escaped. I was becoming someone, God was building something. God was building something. Yeah. The world saw my scars, God saw the story behind them. I disappeared when the pressure started testing me. I stopped talking not because I stopped caring. I stopped talking cause every prayer felt like the sea was an answer. I had questions too heavy for a mouth trying to smile. Like storms in my chest, I was hiding for miles. Everybody saw strain, they never saw strain. Saw me walking straight while I was drowning in pain. I mastered the art of looking okay. Put a mask on my face and caught in my faith. I argued with my doubts in the middle of the night, searching for hope while pretending I was alright. I said, God, why did you let it happen? Why do the faithful suffer while the heartless escape? I blamed you for the storms, for the rain and the thunder, never realizing what you were building under. I thought you were silent, I thought you ignored me, but maybe you were closer than the pain allowed me. This is a letter I never sent to God, the words I was scared to admit in my thoughts. I told you I hated the road that I walked, but you were the reason I never got lost. I saw broken pieces, you saw a design. I saw my failures, you saw a purpose inside. I was fighting the hands that were holding my soul. The God I was running from was the God making me whole. Was the God making me whole. Carried my past like a permanent tattoo. Every mistake screaming, this is the real you. I let my worst moments become my identity. Forgot forgiveness was part of your ability. I counted my losses, you counted my lessons. I focused on damage, you focused on progression. I wanted a miracle without the process, wanted the victory without facing my problems. Funny how humans pray for mountains to move, but forget the mountain is shaping them too. I asked, why am I chosen for pain? Didn't realize pain was sharpening my blade. Maybe the furnace wasn't sent to destroy me. Maybe the fire was revealing the strength inside me. I begged for comfort, you gave endurance. I begged for answers, you gave assurance. I wanted you to fix everything around me. You started the work deep inside of me. Fear in my vision, doubt in my decisions, lost in a prison built by my own opinions. I fought my demons with no ammunition. You to my pride as my only protection, but pride builds walls that keep love outside. You can't heal a heart that refuses to open wide. I brought you my anger, you didn't reject me. I brought you my questions, you stayed beside me. You simply said, my son, let me walk you out. I remember the nights when I thought I was finished, the moments my faith was hanging by a limit. I looked to heaven with tears in my eyes, asking, are you hearing my cries? Looking back now, I see something different. The places I broke became places you entered. The pain I thought was destroying my story became the foundation holding my glory. I don't praise you because I never had scars, I praise you because you met me where scars are. I don't stand here because I never fell, I stand because mercy pulled me from hell. They saw the sinner, you saw the sun. They saw the battle, you saw what I become. I forgive my past, I release my mistakes, because grace is bigger than the damage I made. Jesus picked up the pieces I dropped, built something stronger from everything I lost. I was done with God, that's what pain made me say, but God wasn't done, He was making a way. This is the letter I never sent to God, the words I was scared to admit in my thoughts. I told you I hated the road that I walked, but you were the reason I never got lost. I saw broken pieces, you saw a design. I saw my failures, you saw a purpose inside. I was fighting the hands that were holding my soul. The God I was running from was the God making me whole. I buried my name beneath the weight of my mistakes, smiled through the pain when my whole world shook like earthquakes. Built my identity with opinions that fade, sold pieces of my soul just to hear people say my name. I was rich in attention, bankrupt in peace. Had everything money buys, nothing my heart needs. A chain made of gold is still a chain around your neck. The devil don't always steal, sometimes he writes the check. I learned how to perform, never learned how to heal. Looked alive in the mirror, never knew what was real. I had verses in my mouth, but funerals in my chest. Everybody called me blessed, I couldn't even rest. Every night was another trial, another silent fight, another fake smile under another bright light. I screamed without making a sound, fell without touching the ground. I blame God for the silence, I never blame my own pride, because it's easier to question heaven than to crucify the lies inside. I bury my name, Jesus called it back. I bury my hope, He carried the weight I lack. I bury my future, He planted a seed instead. The grave I was digging became the place I was raised. I thought I was too far, grace said come home. I thought I was forgotten, He said you're my own. I was chasing applause from people who couldn't save me, drinking empty love that slowly enslaved me. I made an idol out of my ambition, lost my direction, trying to chase position. Funny, success without purpose still feels like failure. A full bank account can't resurrect your savior. Had expensive shoes, still walking the wrong road. A beautiful house, still carried a heavy load. The devil whispered keep winning, so I kept losing myself. Built trophies for the shelf while my soul collected dust. See, sin doesn't always look ugly. Sometimes it wears a suit, sometimes it speaks politely, sometimes it gives you everything except the truth. And Jesus walked in my darkness without asking permission. Didn't shame my addiction, He changed my position. Didn't remind me who I had been, He reminded me whose I had always been. I had blood on my conscience, fear in my lungs, hope running low, prayers coming undone. Chains on my future, scars on my vision. Every wrong choice felt like a life sentence, but mercy broke in like a light through a prison. Grace hit harder than my own religion. The cross wasn't decoration, the cross was collision, where perfect love met my worst condition. When I had nothing left, You stayed. When I stopped believing you stayed. When everybody changed, You stayed. Your love never moved, only made me. When I had nothing left, You stayed. When I stopped believing, You stayed. When everybody changed, You stayed. Your love never moved, only made me. Maybe somebody's hearing this with tears they can't explain, smiling in public, breaking in secret again. Maybe you one prayer away from breathing again, one surrender away from living again. Listen, God never caught perfect people, He caught broken people who finally got honest. Peter failed, David failed, Paul had blood on his hands, yet grace still wrote the names into history. So who convinced you your story ended here? Who convinced you your failures were stronger than Calvary? The cross isn't small, your shame isn't bigger, the blood never lost its power to deliver. The stone rolled away, not just from a grave, but from every heart willing to be saved. Now I don't wear chains, I wear scars. Scars remind me the battle was real, but so was my Savior. I bury my name, Jesus called it back. I bury my hope, He carried the weight I lacked. I bury my future, He planted a seed instead. The grave I was digging became the place I was raised. I thought I was too far, grace said come home. I thought I was forgotten, He said come on. I've been here all along. I used to pray with fire, now whisper through the smoke. Every promise that I made felt like another one I broke. Had a Bible on the table, but a battlefield inside. Quoted every verse in public, couldn't sleep alone at night. Everybody saw momentum, nobody saw decay. I kept saying God is good while I was fading every day. Built a smile out of fragments, stitched together with disguise. Learned to hide an ocean behind exhausted eyes. The devil never told me stop believing. He said, just keep delaying. Tomorrow you'll surrender. Tomorrow became years, and years became chains. I buried every tear when nobody could find it. Pain became familiar, so I stopped trying to fight it. I asked Jesus, are you still writing? But my pages look like this, because every chapter looked like failure. Every memory felt allergic to hope. Every sunrise felt too heavy to hold. I wasn't afraid of dying, I was afraid nothing inside me was still alive. When my prayers hit the floor, heaven still heard every word. When my face stopped breathing, mercy breathed first. Thought I was one more story, too broken to restore. Jesus picked me up from the exact place where I fell before. If grace has a language, it sounds like my name. I chased validation until validation became addiction. Built an identity out of everybody else's vision. Bought things I didn't need to impress people I didn't know. Lost myself so slowly, I never felt myself go. See, the enemy doesn't always pull you into darkness. Sometimes he hands you a spotlight, because fame without purpose is still a prison. Success without Christ is just polished division. I collected applause but couldn't collect peace. Collected followers, couldn't follow truth. Had expensive clothes, still wore invisible chains. Every blessing felt temporary, every victory expired overnight. I climbed mountains only to realize you can stand above everyone and still feel beneath yourself. Then Jesus walked into my silence, didn't ask why I failed, didn't count how many times I ran. He simply opened his hands like he already knew I'd come home bleeding. I carried shame like it paid my rent, carried guilt like heaven had left, carried regret like my future was dead. The cross interrupted everything I said, because nails don't just hold, they release. Blood doesn't just cover, it speaks. Mercy doesn't negotiate, it reaches. Grace doesn't visit, it stays. Maybe you're hearing this with headphones on, trying not to let the people around you notice you're breaking. Maybe your room knows your real voice, maybe your pillow knows every prayer you never finished. Maybe your family thinks you're strong because you mastered surviving quietly. Listen, Jesus isn't waiting for a better version of you. He's knocking on the worst version, the one nobody posts, the one nobody celebrates, the one crying after everybody sleeps, cause that's where resurrection begins. Not after perfection, after surrender. The cross never demanded that you impress heaven, it only asked you to stop pretending. You knew my worst day, mistake. You knew my last mistake. You knew every secret, every failure, every reason I thought you should leave, yet you never moved. Now I understand the nights I hated became the nights that built me. The tears I hid watered the faith I stand on today. Every closed door protected me, every delay prepared me. Every wound introduced me to a deeper part of your love. People ask me how I changed, I didn't. Jesus changed the man I was trying to become. Now I don't chase applause, I chase eternity. I don't chase attention, I chase his presence, because everything I build without him eventually collapse. Everything he built inside me will outlive me. When my prayers hit the floor, heaven still heard every word. When my face stopped breathing, mercy breathed first. Thought I was one more story, too broken to restore. Jesus picked me up from the exact place where I fell before. If grace has a language, it sounds like my name. My name, my name.